Good afternoon. I'm Dame Eleanor, and today we're making bound lacing holes. And what I'm showing you here in figure 8F is a bound lacing hole. And this is in the cuff of the white linen shirt worn by Nils Stura when he was murdered on the 24th of May, 1567. This particular chemise is stored at the Uppsala Cathedral, I believe. Anyway, this is our period example, and I'm going to show you how to make this. And I'm doing this demo for my friend Baroness Anne de Signe Noir from the East Realm, and I thought she would like to see how to do this. And what we're looking at here is page 21 from Patterns of Fashion 4 by Janet Arnold. This is the volume that was published posthumously by the work of Jenny Tiramani and others. So I thought you would like to see what the historical model is. And what we have here, this is my version of the Stura shirt. You see this is all linen, and it's hand-stitched and pleated, and this is the cuff. And I have completed one on this side, and I will show you how to do the other one. So the tools that I use for this, now mind, this is a period application, but I'm going to show you how I do it. Other people may do it differently, but this is the way that I do it. And what we have here are the garment itself. I use a Rapid Design template, and I use the 1/2 inch hole marking for my sizing. I always mark everything because I cannot eyeball it. And for that I use an invisible marking pen. This is just a plain disappearing ink marking pen that I got at Joann's. And you see it's purple like that. It lasts about 24 hours and then it comes off and disappears with the air. And we also need an awl. This is a sharp pointed steel implement, and the reason you want to use the awl is because it spreads the fibers of the cloth rather than cutting them or tearing them. If you use a punch, it will cut all of these fibers, and it's bad for the structure of the cloth and it's bad for the garment. So don't ever use a punch. Use an awl. It's the period application, and it really makes the very best work. For stitching, we're going to be using some 30/2 linen. This is genuine linen thread. You don't have to use this size. You don't have to use linen. I have used a variety of things in the past. I've used embroidery floss, pearl cotton. You can use whatever you have. Silk is also good. And then in order to make it work more smoothly, we have wax. And this is just beeswax that I've melted from a great big block and molded in a little cup in the microwave and then allowed to cool. So we'll be waxing our thread. And a needle, just a plain sharp. I use one that's not not too terribly sharp because I don't want to split the threads of the linen. I want it to pass between the threads of the linen, and I like a fairly large needle. I've got chubby hands and stubby fingers, and I prefer a longer needle. So we'll just get rid of this thread that we had in there previously and throw that away. And we'll start with about 18 to 24 inches of thread. And then just run it over your beeswax several times like this. This coats the thread, it strengthens it, it makes it pass more easily through the, see, I just pull it against the wax like that. And I do it a number of times to get it well coated. When you press this or iron this, the heat will make the wax come out, and so it will disappear after a time. It also makes it much easier to thread your needle. So here's your needle. There we go, straight through, first go. Right, and you do not put a knot in the end. You just leave your thread like that plain, and you can set that aside. All right, now for marking. We're going to do this on the outside of the garment. See, this is the inside, this is going to be the outside. And we take our 1/2 inch hole, get it the right way around, and then you want to center that on your garment where you're going to place it. And then we're going to mark that. I think that's pretty good. Just run it around the inside. And this is just a guide so that you get a nicely shaped. You don't have to mark them if you've got a good eye for doing it on your own. You see, there we are. You don't need to mark it, but I always do because I just can't do it any other way. Now, the way we start, and again, this is the way that I start. Try to get this in a position where you can see. I start from the outside and go down through the fabric like that. And then pull this up and leave yourself a little tail of thread, okay? That's maybe 2 inches long. You can hold that down with your other thumb. Then going near that first stitch, bring your needle up from the other side. And what we're going to do here is just make a series of running stitches around the outside of the lacing hole. These are going to be covered up and you'll never see them. But this also helps and acts as a guide so that you know where to place your other stitches. Just keep going, working your way around. Now the reason I'm having to go up and down on this is because there are several layers of fabric here and it's very thick. And if I were to try to do it like a running stitch like this, it wouldn't work very well because it would be very short on the back and long on the top side, and I don't like to do that. So I do it up and down this way. Sometimes you find when you've got, you know, many layers of fabric to go through, if you get used to going up and down like this, it's faster the other way, but you really can make a neater lacing hole by doing it this way. Okay. And incidentally, Poco is here with me. She's sitting on my shoulder. You can't see her, but at some point or another she's bound to make some noise. She's making little puffing noises right now.